Every day, billions of people wake up, and they play it safe. They take the same road to work. They eat the same breakfast. They talk to the same people, think the same thoughts, and live the same day over and over again, until a lifetime passes. And you know what's terrifying? They call that living. But the truth is, playing it safe is the most dangerous thing you can do, because when you refuse to take risks, you refuse to grow. And when you stop growing, you start dying. Slowly, silently. The world rewards the bold, not the careful. It doesn't care about your comfort zone. It only opens its doors to those who dare to knock. Look back through history. Every breakthrough, every invention, every success story was born from someone's willingness to risk everything. The Wright brothers risked their lives for flight. Henry Ford risked ridicule for innovation. Elon Musk risked bankruptcy for his dream of Mars. Jeff Bezos risked a cushy Wall Street job for an idea no one believed in. Selling books online. And look at them now. They didn't wait for guarantees. They didn't wait for the right time. They jumped, and when everyone else stayed on the ground, people say, what if I fail? But the real question is, what if you never try? The truth is, success and safety don't coexist. You can't have both. If you want to build something extraordinary, you must be willing to look foolish, to be misunderstood, to fail. You must fail again and again. Because that's where transformation happens. Risk isn't a sign of recklessness. It's a sign of courage. It's saying, I'd rather lose chasing my dream than live dying inside my comfort zone. You see, the people who change the world aren't smarter than you. They're not luckier. They simply chose to take the leap. They faced fear, uncertainty, and pain, but they did it anyway. Because they knew one truth that most people spend a lifetime avoiding. Without risk, there is no success. Helen Keller once said, life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. Read that again. A daring adventure or nothing. You weren't born to tiptoe safely through life, hoping to arrive at death in perfect condition. You were born to chase something that sets your soul on fire. To fall, to rise, to scream, damn, what a ride when it's all over. So stop waiting for certainty. Stop waiting for the green light from people who never dared to move themselves, because safety is an illusion and regret is real. When you risk nothing, you risk everything. Let me tell you something powerful. Every name you admire today, every person you've ever called successful, once stood exactly where you are right now. Facing fear, uncertainty, and doubt. They just made a different choice. They chose risk. Let's start with Elon Musk. After selling PayPal, he could have retired. He could have lived the easy life. Beaches, mansions, comfort. But instead, he took every penny he had and bet it all on rockets and electric cars. And guess what? He failed. 3 rockets exploded. Tesla was drowning in debt. He was days away from bankruptcy. But he refused to quit. He said, I'd rather die trying than live doing nothing. Then, the 4th rocket launched. And it worked. That single success saved SpaceX, saved Tesla, and changed the course of human history. That's what happens when you bet on yourself. Now look at Jeff Bezos, a young man on Wall Street. High salary, respect, comfort. And one day, he walks into his boss's office and says, I'm leaving to sell books on the internet. People laughed. They said, you're insane, Jeff. Nobody buys books online. But he saw the future, and he was willing to risk everything for it. That risk became Amazon. And the world will never forget that one crazy decision. Then there's Vera Wang. She was already successful. A senior editor at Vogue. She had everything most people would ever dream of. But inside, she knew she wasn't done yet. She quit her job, walked away from stability, and risked everything to design wedding dresses. People told her she was too old to start over, too late to dream again. Today, her name is a symbol of elegance. Vera Wang, the queen of bridal fashion, because she risked everything to follow her passion. And then there's Richard Branson. He started with a tiny magazine called Student. Then came a record store, then a record label, and eventually his wildest idea, an airline. Virgin Atlantic. Everyone told him he would fail. British Airways will crush you, they said. He was drowning in debt, selling company shares just to survive. But he kept going. And now Virgin Group owns over 300 companies across the globe. All because one man refused to live small. Do you see the pattern? Risk is not the enemy of success. It's the gateway. Every single one of these people faced fear. Every one of them was told, don't do it. And every one of them ignored the noise because they knew one thing. The biggest risk is not taking one at all. You see, risk is not about recklessness. It's about faith. Faith in your vision, faith in your effort, faith in yourself. Successful people don't jump blindly. They calculate, they study, they prepare. But most importantly, they act. They don't spend years overthinking. They don't get paralyzed by what if. They take the leap because they understand something most people never do. Knowledge means nothing without action. You can read 100 books, watch 1,000 motivational videos, but if you never move, you'll never know. Risk is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. It's uncomfortable. It's unpredictable. But it's necessary. So the next time fear whispers, what if it doesn't work? You tell it, what if it does? Because the truth is, there's no success without risk, no growth without discomfort, no greatness without pain. You can't build a legend by standing still. So maybe it's time. Time to stop analyzing, stop waiting, stop playing it safe. Because playing it safe never made anyone legendary. The people who made history, they jumped. And now it's your turn. Every person watching this video right now, you have a choice between existing and living, between fear and faith, between comfort and greatness. You can spend your life waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity, the perfect guarantee, but that moment will never come because life doesn't wait. Life doesn't hand out guarantees. Life rewards the brave, the ones who move first, even when they're scared. Think about it. Everything you want in life is sitting on the other side of risk. That new business? Risk. That dream body? Risk. That relationship, that freedom, that peace of mind. All of it demands that you step into the unknown. You can't climb a mountain by standing at the bottom, staring. You can't learn to swim by watching from the shore. You have to jump in. You have to move. And yes, you might fall. You might fail. You might get laughed at, misunderstood, criticized. But guess what? That's the price of greatness. Every scar tells a story. Every failure builds resilience. Every rejection strengthens your spirit. The pain you feel today becomes the strength you carry tomorrow. The world is not kind to the timid. It belongs to those who take the leap, the ones who keep going when it hurts, the ones who bleed, sweat, cry, and keep showing up. Discipline, grit, persistence. These are not just words. They are the currency of success. And the truth is, you will never feel ready. You'll never wake up one morning and suddenly find courage waiting at your doorstep. You create it. By taking the first step. By doing the hard thing when it's easier to quit. By facing fear and saying, not today. Ask yourself, what if you stopped playing small? What if you stopped letting fear decide your future? What if you finally bet on yourself? Truly, completely, unapologetically. You don't need anyone's permission to chase your dream. You don't need the world to understand your vision. You just need to move. Because action is louder than fear. People will doubt you. They'll call you crazy. They'll whisper. They'll laugh. They'll roll their eyes. But one day, those same people will look at your success and call it luck. They won't see the nights you spent working while they slept. They won't see the fear you faced, the tears you hid, the faith it took to keep going when everyone else gave up. They won't see the risk, only the reward. So stop running from risk. Embrace it. Walk into it with your head held high. Because risk is not your enemy. It's your path. It's the bridge between your present and your potential. Every great life demands a leap. So leap. Fall forward. Fail forward. Because failure is not the end, as it's information. It's the world teaching you how to grow stronger. Every time you fall, you learn. Every time you rise, you evolve. And every time you dare again, you become unstoppable. This is how you build a life that matters. You stop chasing safety, and you start chasing purpose. You stop trying to survive, and you start to live. When your final day comes, when you look back at the movie of your life, will you be proud of the risks you took? Or haunted by the chances you didn't? Because regret is the heaviest burden you'll ever carry. Not the failure, not the pain, but the what ifs. What if I had tried? What if I had gone all in? What if I had believed in myself? Don't let those words follow you to your grave. You have one life, one shot, and every second that passes is one you'll never get back. So take the risk. Start the business, make the call, write the book, ask the question, change your life. Because if you fail, you learn. If you fall, you grow. If you risk, you live. And when it's all said and done, you'll look back, exhausted, bruised, scarred, smiling, and whisper, "Damn, what a ride."